Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Shabisti. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Cosby High School. Thank you so much for joining us this evening as we talk about advanced placement and dual enrollment and everything that we have to offer here at Cosby. We've got a great panel here set up to answer questions that you all have. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it over to our school principal, Mr. Ben Snyder, and he's going to start us off with a few comments. So, Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. Shabisti, and thank you, parents and students, for tuning in this evening. For the last 6 years, we've provided in some way, shape, or form an advanced placement and dual enrollment fair, and I think it's been a great opportunity to share with the Cosby community the various differences and benefits to a dual enrollment and advanced placement courses for our students. Of course, we all believe that it's a great opportunity anytime students can get a few of or a handful of college credits while they're still in high school. But even if students don't have the opportunity to continue on with that, depending on their major, school, things like that, the skills and the rigor that our students receive in our advanced placement and dual enrollment courses here at Cosby really prepare them for the next step after their time here with us. So it's been a great thing for us to share with our community over the last 6 years, and I think it's been a benefit to our students and families as they head into scheduling season each January, as our students will be filling out their course requests next week. So thank you for tuning in, and certainly there'll be a lot of information shared this evening. You'll have some opportunities to ask some questions, but there'll also be some resources shared on the backside. So please don't feel like you have to remember every single thing that's mentioned this evening, because we still will be available to answer any of those questions after this evening. And so without taking up any more time, I'm going to turn it over to the folks that will share tons of important information. And I hope you enjoy the evening and find this beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. We're going to introduce our panel here before we start talking more about AP and dual enrollment. We'll go through everybody. We've got Mrs. Williams. She's our school counseling coordinator. We've got Miss Ricks. She is one of our AP science teachers. We have Miss Allie Eckenrode. She is one of our English teachers. And we have Mr. Chris Averill. He is one of our social studies teachers. So you'll get a chance to hear from each of them tonight, and they're going to be your expert panel to answer the questions that you have. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to hear from Miss Williams, who's going to talk to us about some of the general ideas and pieces of information that you need for AP and dual enrollment. So I'll turn it over to Miss Williams.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My goal is to share with you some brief and overall information regarding AP and dual enrollment, and then the meat of the information will come from the panel and our experts, obviously. Next slide, please. What is advanced placement? Advanced placement courses are designed and created by the College Board. The College Board are also the same people that have created the PSAT test and the SAT test. The curriculum should be the same all over the country and in other parts of the world. So if you take an AP Human Geography class here at Cosby High School, and you move to Germany during the school year, you should be able to pick up that same exact AP Human Geography course in Germany. These courses are taught in high school with a curriculum that's comparable and reflective of those that are taught in college. That's an important piece of information to remember about advanced placement courses as well as dual enrollment courses, but specifically AP in this case. Students will take an exam in May that will determine whether or not they can earn credit for a course when they go to college, and I will talk about that in just a little bit. And then final grades in AP courses at Cosby are weighted by 1 point in the overall grade point average. Next slide, please. Dual enrollment are courses that are taught here at Cosby High School by our Cosby faculty members following the John Tyler curriculum. Cosby faculty have gone through a screening process, and they are therefore then eligible to teach their dual enrollment courses. Students qualify to take a dual enrollment course by earning, and this year it's going to actually be a 3.0 overall grade point average. Students can earn college credit by earning at least a C in the dual enrollment course. And final grades in dual enrollment courses at Cosby High School are weighted by 1 point in the overall grade point average. Next slide, please. To elaborate on AP courses and earning grades or earning a score on an AP exam, if a student earns a 3, 4, or a 5 on their AP exam, they can then earn, in turn, college credit, depending on the college or university that they apply to. AP Literature, for example, it's a course that's offered to our seniors and replaces English 12. If they earn a 4 or a 5 on the exam, the University of Virginia will give them credit for English 101. Whereas VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, says we will take a 3, 4, or a 5, and your student will earn a credit for their University 111 English course. This information about whether or not AP courses and scores that students earn will transfer and earn credit on the college level is available on any college and university website. With dual enrollment, students need to earn at least a C or better in order to earn college credit. That information, just like AP courses and exam scores, is also available on college and university websites. Next slide, please. Our students will earn an overall grade point average, and final grades in their AP and dual enrollment courses will be weighted. So for example, if a student earns a B in their AP or dual enrollment course, their overall grade point average will calculate in an A. However, on the transcript, the college will still see the B as the final grade on the transcript. We inform the colleges that the grade point average is weighted. Next slide, please. So oftentimes students ask, why advanced placement? This is a great piece of feedback that we received from students and via the College Board, but taking AP courses builds on the skills that you need throughout your college years. You give your mind a rigorous workout while polishing up your time management and study skills. You also get better at handling challenging issues and problems with the support of your AP teachers. AP courses let you know what to expect during the next phase of your educational journey and help you build the confidence to succeed. And I will say one of the biggest pieces of feedback that most of our AP teachers get is that they feel that once they got to college, they are well prepared to handle the rigor, but they have also had the opportunity to learn some really interesting information that they got to experience in their advanced placement class. Next slide, please. With AP, you get to dig deeper into the subjects that you love. So we will always tell our students to make sure that if they do enroll into an AP course, that they absolutely love the subject. You get to immerse yourself into the course and learn how things really work, from concepts that will stick with you as long after class is through. In AP classes, learning means sharing your ideas and expressing yourself. There's great opportunity for this. Our teachers help students build great confidence in especially expressing themselves, but also making sure that they understand and learn how to share information, how to process information, how to gather information, and then how to have constructive conversation about that. Next slide, please. Dual enrollment. Oftentimes our students take a dual enrollment course because they feel they're just not quite ready for an AP course. Students can earn 6 to 8 college credits per course, 3 or 4 credits per semester, as opposed to 3 credits for an AP course for a total of 2 semesters. Students can earn dual enrollment credit also through our technical center programs. Those oftentimes change from year to year. So that is information that the Technical Center is very transparent about and can be found on their websites. And for dual enrollment, students do not take an exam that will determine whether or not they earn college credit. It's their final grade in the course, C or better, that will determine if they earn credit on the college level. Next slide, please. At Cosby High School, we offer a long list of AP courses. For ninth graders, however, we offer AP Human Geography and AP Environmental Science. For 10th graders, we offer 2 courses as well, AP World History and sometimes AP Biology. Next slide, please. And for our 11th and 12th graders, we have a wide variety of courses that we offer for AP. Next slide, please. And for dual enrollment courses, we will be offering dual enrollment English composition, British and American literature. Unfortunately, we will not be offering dual enrollment government next year or dual enrollment chemistry. We will be offering dual enrollment biology, U.S. Virginia history, and then our tech center courses. Next slide, please. Balance is extremely important. We enjoy offering you the opportunity of AP and dual enrollment night because we want to make sure that all questions are answered so that students can make sure that they balance their schedule. As students go throughout high school, they are engaged in different social events. They may want to play sports or join the band or the orchestra, and they have a lot of other family obligations. Students oftentimes forget that they're also growing and developing and changing, which impacts their sleep patterns and their eating habits. We do sometimes seem to discuss concerns of increased anxiety and depression when students tend to overload themselves. So we always want to make sure that we do mention that students don't need to have all AP and dual enrollment courses. We are going to ask that students will be, and parents will sign an AP contract. This is merely a piece of communication where we are being transparent about the commitment of taking an AP course and how we can make sure and assist students in being successful, especially as we encourage them to commit to work as hard as they can for the first quarter, so that they can get used to the rigors of the course. Next slide, please. We oftentimes get the question, what is the average number of AP courses a student can take? Last school year, we probably had over 1,100 students sign up to take AP exams, and close to 700 students that were taking between 5 exams, or sometimes some took 1 or 2 exams. So there is no number or average number or best number of AP courses that a student should or could take. Next slide, please. For dual enrollment, same answer. We had over 600 students enrolled in dual enrollment courses, but that year, that changes every year as well, also depending on which courses we offer. But both dual enrollment and AP courses are very popular here at Cosby High School. Next slide, please. There are some fees associated with AP and dual enrollment courses. Our exam fee for this upcoming school year is going to be $96, and we asked parents to pay that this past fall of November 2021. For dual enrollment courses, students also pay between $50 to $75 per course. This fee we oftentimes collect by August when we are paying our annual school fees. The cost for the dual enrollment courses also covers the use for students of the John Tyler Library, their tutors, their writing center, and students can actually participate in clubs and activities or sports at the John Tyler campus. So all that is covered by the $50 to $75 fee. Next slide, please. This was a brief overview. I have some additional resources that I have linked here on the bottom. I will say that this slideshow is also available at our AP and dual enrollment website, which I am sure Mr. Shabisty will reference to at some point. I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Shabisty.
Thank you so much, Ms. Williams. Appreciate that. We're going to go into our question and answer portion of the night tonight. We've got some pre-made questions that have already come in through a Google form. So parents have already asked some of these questions. But if you are out in the audience, you are more than welcome to send in your questions through the YouTube chat, and we'll try to get as many of those answered as possible. The first question that we've got that's come up is, how do I know if I'm ready? And Ms. Eckenroe, we're gonna start with you. If I'm a student, how do I know that I'm ready? If I'm a parent, how do I know that my student is ready for AP or dual enrollment?
So the English team met, all the AP and dual teachers got together and discussed this conversation because we feel it comes up every year and the kids ask this question of us. And our overall sensation was that there were three main requirements that they had to think about. And one was work ethic. And that really was the number one. You have to be willing to work, and you have to be willing to do all the work all the time and put forth that effort, because that is what makes the difference between a kid who's going to make it or not. And so that is one piece of this that is really important. The second piece of that came up was a willingness to ride out what is somewhat of a roller coaster, because you are used to doing well in English class and getting maybe an A at all times. It's always been an easy subject. And now you take AP or dual enrollment and you tank at first. And a lot of kids don't do well at the very beginning. And now it's a roller coaster. That climb back up the hill is gradual, and it takes some time to learn how to do that class. And kids have to be willing to accept that, regardless of AP or dual, and that acceptance of maybe not always having an A, that sometimes it's okay to get a C if you're still growing and learning. And that acceptance is a big piece of that puzzle. And then that understanding of where you stand and that you're willing to do upper level work, and that it's important that you're willing to take that step towards the next level of your education within the English department. But I would say that that's probably, having seen students, that's probably pretty consistent, but other teachers could very well jump in on that as well.
Makes sense. Thank you, Second Road. We're actually going to turn to Mr. Averill with a similar follow-up question. So one of the questions, I might be a sophomore that's getting really excited. I want to take my first AP or dual enrollment class, and I see that AP World is sitting out there, and I could take that as a sophomore. Can you talk to us a little bit about that course? How might I know if I'm ready for that?
Echo Ms. Eckenrod's comments. They were pretty well spot on. The goal is not to prevent any student from taking an AP or dual. Our goal as teachers, as a community, is to encourage students to take these courses, but with the understanding that you're going to have all the support you need to help you through this process. The biggest shock sometimes come, and Ms. Eckenrod said it precisely, is that students formerly have gotten A's and all of a sudden they're pulling a C and they're working their tails off. But what we're doing is we're building critical thinking and analytical skills. And the AP teachers give you a step-by-step approach, but it's sometimes, depending upon the course, it's the equivalent of trying to teach somebody to throw a curveball, right? It doesn't necessarily come natural to somebody. And just because you can say step 1, step 2, step 3, doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it right away. So keep that in mind, that this is a process of learning. And it's worth the effort. Now, as far as AP World, how would you know? First, you're a self-starter. Second, you like challenges. Third, you're not afraid to work, because there's going to be a lot of work outside of class, and that is a big element to the course, is getting the nuts and bolts of the content, so that when you come in class, you can manipulate them and build larger conceptual historical trends and developments. But the AP World teachers that we have are excellent at really programmatically breaking down steps to teach the writing components of the course. So it's not as if you have to be some highfalutin analytical student. You just have to have a willingness to work hard, to stay with it, and persevere. And that's the end goal. And in the end, you're going to move along your intellectual paradigm much more quickly and be much more prepared for college.
And we're going to turn over to Miss Eckenrode here real quick, and she's going to make a quick comment, and then we're going to talk about that other sophomore course that's sitting out there that some sophomores would qualify for AP Bio. We'll turn it to Miss Eckenrode.
Real quick, the other thing that he said, and it reminded me, is that there often is a big difference between a kid who's willing to come for help. The kids that really are willing to reach out and come to office hours and ask questions and, email and communicate, often are willing, are showing that they're growing a lot as well. And so again, that fortitude to do the work and to step beyond what they've done in the past.
Thank you. So, Ms. Ricks, I'm going to turn to you. I know you teach AP Bio. The question I saw in the presentation where sophomores are able to take AP Bio, but they have to meet certain prerequisites. Can you talk to us a little bit about what those prerequisites are, and do most sophomores meet those in the sophomore year, or what's the most common year a student might take AP Bio?
So AP Bio is a great class to take your sophomore year if you have completed honors biology, and it is a class that you have to take with chemistry. So a lot of sophomores aren't necessarily ready to take AP Biology their sophomore year because chemistry ends up being a co-requisite, and that ends up being a lot of science for 1 year. And you also have to kind of think about balancing your schedule. Like AP Bio, you could take your sophomore, junior, or senior year. So you kind of want to look out all 4 years and figure out where it will fit in best. So again, if freshmen are thinking about taking AP Biology next year, then I would recommend that they are in an honors biology class currently, and maintaining an A is helpful, because then that means that they're already getting the basics of biology and understand that really well. And then understand that they will be taking 2 pretty difficult science classes at the same time. There would be honors chemistry and AP biology. Math is also a part of AP Bio. I'm sorry, I just thought about that too. It's also important. I don't think sometimes we associate science and math together, but they actually go along with each other really well. So a student that's considering AP Bio should probably be in honors math classes. I think it would be like honors algebra 2 or geometry. Like one of those are going to be taking algebra 2, because math is an important part of AP Biology, and English is an important part of AP Biology too, because there's essays that they have to write. So one of my big things is a student has to be pretty organized and have good time management and all the other things that the other teachers said, as far as willingness to come for help and an enthusiasm to learn that subject.
Thank you, Ms. Ricks. Ms. Williams, I'm gonna turn it over to you with a question up next. My question, you went through all that stuff, and it was really easy to see sophomores, there are only 2 options available. Ninth grader, there's 1 option available. And then for 11 and 12, my eyes just went wide at all of the different offerings that we had. My question for you is, how do I figure out what's the right fit for me if I'm interested in taking one of these classes? How do I even begin to think about that?
Yeah, good question. First and foremost, I think, and it kind of piggybacks on what Ms. Ricks was trying to say too, was there is a maturity piece that's involved. We oftentimes encourage students that they have to be willing to learn and think outside the box and take a risk, and a confidence piece that is oftentimes grows, but also should be there somewhat. We also encourage our students to, when they take an AP course, for example, they need to love the subject, eat, sleep, breathe it, want to learn everything about it, want to dive deeper, read that extra article. We also encourage students to talk with their teachers. It's oftentimes really interesting to hear what students find and understand when they talk with their teachers about their own passions and interests, and how some of these courses might be helpful to them exploring that interest, or how it could support them down the road when they are considering a certain major in college. So there's lots of different factors that can play into students making choices.
All right, next question up is, and this is for anyone on the panel that wants to take it. My question is, let's say I'm a senior, I've never taken an AP or dual enrollment class before, but it sounds like I have an interest in one, I might want to take one. Am I out of luck? Did I need to get started taking AP and dual enrollment classes when I was younger, or can I still take it?
I'll toss this out first. One, my daughter, I had several children come through Cosby, and I had one daughter that did not take an AP course until her senior year. She was just, afraid of it. She took the AP Gov and some great teachers and some great supports, and she pulled a 4 on the AP exam. And so she reminds me of the kind of the typical student that was afraid to challenge herself more so. And it was also a time commitment. So I would definitely say yes, take an AP course your senior year for sure. And if I could qualify one thing that Ms. Williams said, some of my students don't love U.S. history when they step through the door. They like it. And I don't know that it's a prerequisite, because I might not get any students in my AP class. But if you like it coming in the door, I hope you love it when you leave. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Averill.
Can I add something to that?
Of course.
For sure. Most of our AP and dual enrollment teachers are amazing teachers. So I think that is a piece that, indeed, if a student comes to a class where they may not like it necessarily, indeed, all of them most of the time leave it loving the subject or having learned such a great deal, just because the teacher was very inspirational or effective in how they taught the course. Yes, that's what I wanted to add. Oh, I forgot my second piece, but yeah.
Mixer, do you want to jump in there?
I just wanted to add to that too. I know from my personal experience, I didn't take any AP classes until my senior year as well. And I would totally recommend, your senior year, take AP Gov. I mean, most kids don't have any background in that anyway. I don't know from history. I mean, it's very different from the other history classes. So yeah, take that AP Gov. I think there's tons of AP English classes too, that, it would fit perfectly junior or senior year. Just don't overload yourself. If you've never done it before, don't go from 0 to 5. And that might be a little bit of a stretch, but yeah, definitely sign up.
Can I add something, Mr. Schmisty?
Of course. Add away.
One thing that I wanted to mention too is that in an AP course, students do not have to take the AP exam. And we'd love to see them take advantage of an AP exam because of what it will give them at the end and you know, what they'll earn back. But there are so many skills that students learn by just merely being in the class. Understand how to take notes, understanding how to interpret information, understanding how to study. Those are all really important skills that students learn in an AP exam, also in a dual enrollment class, just as much. But for the AP exam course, they don't have to take the AP exam. So.
Awesome.
Sorry, I was going to just piggyback on what she said in relationship to dual enrollment, because that is more my experience, is that sometimes kids start with that dual enrollment composition course, either in junior or senior year. And it's such an important course because every single student going into a college will write. Every single student going into a college will read. And these are those upper level skills that sometimes kids need extra practice on. And it really helps build those skills before they get to a college or university where they're expected to write and read many, many works at all times and in every subject. So it gives them some foundational skills that are going to be used regardless of where they're going in their future careers.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question, Ms. Williams, we're going to start with you on this one, and then we'll open it up to the panel. The question is, now at this point, I'm interested in taking an AP or dual enrollment class. I'm worried that I'm going to fail. I'm going to struggle. It's going to be too hard. What exists out there to help me out? And ultimately, if it's not for me, am I able to drop it?
Okay. So to talk about AP courses first, put your worries aside, right, and build that team of support around you. We always encourage the students to work with their teachers and take advantage of all the extra support teachers offer, which is oftentimes extra resources that will be in their Canvas classrooms. Some teachers have extra sessions after school. When we get closer to exam time, they even offer Saturday time. So there are lots of extra resources for AP. In advanced placement courses, we love to ask the students to make a commitment for the first quarter. But certainly when you're working with a student is working with their team, that looks like their counselor, their teacher, their parent. And if it's determined that that might not necessarily be the right place, then we are excited that this student gave it an attempt, and we're going to surely make sure that they're going to the right place, whether that's an honors class or wherever that might be. For dual enrollment has some dates and deadlines that we have to adhere to, set by John Tyler. So our students have to complete an application this spring. It's due by April 1st. If we do not have that application by April 1st, unfortunately, a student will not be able to take a dual enrollment course next school year. So we need to make sure that all our students have completed the application and met at least a 3.0 qualification that they're going to be looking for. And then in the fall, if a student determines that they're not placed quite correctly, we can certainly make an adjustment. However, John Tyler has some set dates by when a student can withdraw from the course. And there's a window of time where students withdraw without penalty. And then there's a window of time where students withdraw with a penalty or a W for withdrawal. There's also a strict attendance policy for dual enrollment. So that is something students need to really be aware of, that if attendance is impacted in some sort of way, we certainly will work with the student, but their policy is pretty strict. Again, also in dual enrollment courses, there are tons of resources ranging from the teacher to the writing center on campus, tutoring services on campus. So students have a variety of resources to use in order to be successful in those classes.
That makes sense. And I'd like to open it up to the rest of the panel to comment the sort of can I drop if it gets too hard or too rigorous. And if you could also mention maybe one or two of your strategies that you use when you encounter a student that maybe is struggling a little bit. How do you help them out?
I have a thought. First, I had a student in one of my on grade level classes that had switched out from dual enrollment, and I asked her why she had left, and she said that it was a little more difficult than she thought at the beginning. The first several weeks, and she got afraid, and then she had several friends in the class, and over the course of the next month or 2 months, she said that her friends said that it became more normal and they got used to it and it wasn't as hard as she initially thought. And so part of that anecdote, that's the truth, is that every one of us, the students, is different. And for some of us, if we just stay the course a little bit longer with the supports that Ms. Williams talked about, that every AP teacher provides, and dual, everything from meeting one-on-one. I know that I do that with students to try and get at the heart of what the issue is, build them up, give them techniques to overcome whatever challenges they may be experiencing at that point relative to the skill development or the ideas or the content. The hope is that it'll help get them through, and they keep coming. So that's the goal. But again, sometimes it's just there's too much going on. Things have changed in their life relative to what is consuming their time outside of school, and they don't have the time that they thought they were going to have to commit. So there's a multiplicity of reasons why a student might want to drop. But the hope is that once you're in, you continue to pursue it.
Ms. Ricks, Ms. Second Road, anything else that you want to add? Something that you do in your class to help kids out when they're struggling?
Well, in writing, we do a lot of conferencing. At the beginning of the year, a lot of the writing that we do, I think probably in either course, AP or dual, is new. It's flexing muscles we haven't necessarily used in a while, because everything through 10th grade is very structuralized to be practicing kind of the same types of essays. And so when you get to a course that either opens the doors wide open and says, now you get to write in this way, or you're having to write AP essays that are stylized to what they want, it's new. And so there's a lot of conferencing. There's a lot of kind of trial by error. And I making mistakes and learning from the mistakes and continually growing, which is why I say it's more of a climb from that roller coaster, because at the beginning it can be a little rough. And that fortitude to stay the course, as Mr. Averill said, just willingness to stick with it, even when you feel, it can be difficult. But I know teachers are meeting before school, during Titan time, after school, holding virtual sessions, working with students, virtually by, send me this, giving feedback online, giving feedback in different ways, and trying to get them where they want to be, so that by the time you hit the semester, you're feeling a whole lot better about where you are, and the confidence has grown by leaps and bounds. And that's really the goal, is that they gain that confidence and see what they're capable of.
Hey, go ahead, Ms. Williams. Then we're going to move on to another question.
I just wanted to add that our teachers are also incredibly well versed in different learning styles. So by working one-on-one with our students in dual enrollment and AP courses, oftentimes our teachers can identify the needs that students have based on their learning styles. So the wide variety of supports address all the needs of all the students, which is great to see and incredibly supportive.
All right, next question up is Ms. Williams, we're going to turn this to you. Are dual enrollment courses only accepted in-state? Credit for college credit for dual enrollment only in the state of Virginia?
So in the state of Virginia, they are definitely promoting dual enrollment. There is going to be a huge push and promotion of what's called Transfer Virginia. It's actually a website that they are developing to encourage dual enrollment and earning credit for dual enrollment courses. Dual enrollment is an option in many different states in the United States. Florida is heavily involved in dual enrollment, just lots of other states. So I always suggest to students that they go to the college or university's website. Most of the time they have a link that references specifically to transfer credits. And certainly you can pick up the phone and call and say, hey, this is a course that I took and how would that transfer? So yes, they are accepted out of state and now definitely as much as in-state. Other than Transfer Virginia, they are also calling courses and identifying courses by using the word passport. So passport courses like our college composition, our dual enrollment history, those are all passport courses, meaning that they're automatically transferable with a C or better to a college or university in state and most likely out of state as well.
All right, thank you. And we're going to turn over to our science expert, Ms. Ricks. A couple questions for you. We're going to bring you in here. The first one is, would you say, in talking about the difference between AP and dual enrollment bio, that they're more or less the same course, that a student should probably pick one or the other just based on, I want the AP course or I want the dual enrollment course, and the advantages and disadvantages with those?
Right. So the material that we go over in AP and dual enrollment are extremely similar. And so there's like a few differences, like with the pricing, like what Miss Williams went over, and like the attendance requirements. I was thinking earlier today too, I was like, oh, well, this year the AP students didn't have to take a midterm, but the dual enrollment kids did. So that's like one of the advantage of AP over dual enrollment, but they are extremely similar. And I think I was even talking with Miss Williams that if a freshman is interested in taking dual enrollment instead of AP Bio, they could potentially take that their sophomore year if they've taken earth science and biology as well. So they are very extremely similar classes. So it would just kind of have to like depend on what you would like to take.
Sounds good. Thank you. The next question has to do, again, in the science world. Can you walk us through the sequence of courses that a student would take, normally in their 9th through 12th as they're looking at taking the AP bios, the AP chems, dual enrollment bios? Where does that fit into a normal student schedule?
Sure. So in 9th grade, even some students are taking advanced placement environmental science, right? APES. And so if they're starting there in 9th grade, then 10th grade, they're typically going to be taking honors biology. And that sometimes is sad for me because I'm like, no, I want you to be able to take AP Bio, and they run out of time because they want to take so many advanced courses. So if like there's a 9th grader that's in APES right now, I would recommend trying to double up with biology and chemistry if that's possible, or taking biology over the summer if you want to move further with all of your AP classes. Students that start in 9th grade with earth science, if they're going from earth science to honors biology next year as sophomores, then their junior year, they could take the honors chemistry and potentially take AP Bio their junior year, or dual enrollment biology. And then their senior year would be physics. And it's funny, I talk a lot with the kids, whether they should take honors physics their senior year or if they should take or skip honors completely and take AP physics, because there's actually 2 different AP physics. There's AP Physics 1, where you only have to have like an Algebra 2 background, like it's the easier physics, if physics could ever be considered an easy class. And then there's the AP Physics that requires, like, it's calculus based. So the calculus-based physics would be obviously someone that's been taking like AP Calc and like knows math really well. So I have 9th graders that are in honors biology right now, and they would take honors chemistry their sophomore year, and then their junior year they could take AP Bio, they could take AP Environmental, they could take physics, they could take AP chemistry if they're really good at chemistry. So with science, again, I think I said this at the beginning, you really want to look at your 4 years and what you're interested in taking and kind of have to plan it out, because there's a lot of AP classes and you can take them in any of the years as long as you meet the prerequisites.
Thank you. Wanted to answer a few more questions that we had come in while we've been live. The first one is if we're offering dual enrollment pre-calculus next year, and the answer is yes. That would be a course that students would take after Algebra 2, and you would have the option of taking either honors trig or taking dual enrollment pre-calc. One of the other questions, Ms. Williams, I wanted to shoot that over to you, is there a GPA boost that comes with taking one of our advanced courses?
Yes. So for an AP course or for a dual enrollment course, a student earns a whole point more in their overall grade point average, not in their final grade. If they earn a final grade, for example, of a B in an AP course, in their overall grade point average, it will show up as an A, or it will be calculated in as an A. The same with a dual enrollment course. If they take dual enrollment college composition and earn a B, in their overall grade point average, it will be calculated in as an A. We do notify the colleges that our grade point averages are what we call weighted, and we identify the courses that are weighted. So AP and dual enrollment courses would be identified as weighted as with a whole 1 point more in their overall grade point average.
And sticking with you on that, do colleges have a preference, one over the other? So we talked earlier about AP and dual enrollment bio being very similar. Do colleges have a preference, one they'd like to see over the other?
That is kind of that's a tough question to answer in a simple way. Most of our colleges and universities in the state that are not like UVA or William & Mary, except both AP and dual enrollment. William & Mary and UVA will oftentimes say, what is the highest level course that you offer at school? And that is the course that we want to see you take. We do say that AP courses are the higher level courses that we offer. And so our students take oftentimes AP English, the AP Sciences, AP Social Studies, AP Math, if they are headed or think that they would like to head towards UVA or William & Mary. Many of the out-of-state schools have indicated that they not prefer, but that they tend to look at AP courses for out-of-state students more favorable only because they are familiar with the curriculum. The AP curriculum is, as I indicated earlier, a curriculum that is taught all over the world, and there's great transparency and familiarity with what is being taught in each course. So oftentimes out-of-state colleges and universities like to see them only because there's a familiarity with them, but that is not to say that they don't want dual enrollment classes. So it really does depend on the colleges and universities that you're looking at. And so I always suggest that you do your homework and make sure that you look at what all is out there.
All right, thank you, Ms. Williams. And we're starting to run short on time, so we are going to try to reach out to our families individually with the questions that they've brought up that I haven't been able to get to, or we need to do a little more research on. But we'll go through the panel one by one and give you a chance to give your final 2 cents on advanced placement and dual enrollment classes and sort of your experience. We'll kick things off with Miss Eckenrode.
I'm going to speak both as I'm a parent too at Cosby right now. I'm a junior. So I'm seeing it kind of from both perspectives. The big thing I would say, and that I try to tell the kids that has been echoed over and over again, is this idea of balance and making sure that you don't overwhelm yourself, because you want at the end of the day to still be smiling. And that priority should be your mental health and your physical health should come first. And I think we've seen kids really thinking that way, especially in the last few years, which has been glorious because we have really deep conversations about where their joy is. And so I would hope that tonight helped you think more about that in relationship to what is best for you and for your goals, but also for your own well-being. Because I think we all have that same goal of making sure the kids come away having a really positive experience, but also that they remain healthy, happy kids too, because we don't want that to drive them, into that stressed place that we all know every kid can go at times.
All right, thank you. Mr. Averill.
I would suggest that you not worry. It's going to work out if you choose to take an AP course or don't choose to take an AP course, if you choose to take a dual or don't choose to. And if you do, right, things will work out. And so don't get so overly anxious that you have to make this right decision and the rest of your future is determined by this faithful. It doesn't work like that, right? Water's going to settle at the level at which water settles. And so too for each of us as we come through and try and shape our educational experience. You want to challenge yourself. Absolutely, right? And if you challenge yourself and it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least you tried. And that's the big thing. Sometimes I think I bump into students that aren't putting themselves out there. They're not reaching. And that, I want to get those students and get them to reach. But at the same time, just don't feel overwhelmed in the decision one way or the other, and do the best you can. Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Ricks, your final comments for the night?
I loved all of those. And that made me think about how when I'm doing the course suggestions, I'm like, there's not really a wrong answer or a wrong way to do it. There's so many different ways. It'll be okay. But I would maybe encourage your students to go and talk to their teachers. Like, even though we had our suggestion times, like I know some of my students are so quiet and I'm like, I don't really know what they want to take. Like I asked them, but maybe if after your conversations with them encourage them to come talk to their teachers or go ask other students, hey, what do you think about this class? And like, just get some more information from other people that have experience with it. So don't be afraid to ask questions from people that are in the classes now or have taken them in the past, or what their paths have been, to kind of get an idea what might work for you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
Yeah, and I would say don't be afraid to fail. We grow from failure, and this is the safest place to do it because you have everybody in your corner to help you work through it. So this is a great way to challenge yourself, fail, or and learn from it and grow.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you to all the viewers at home. Really appreciate your time. For those of you that want to watch this again, you can go to this YouTube link again, and it'll give you the replay. It's also available on our AP and dual enrollment website that was sent out to families today, that you're able to access not only what courses are offered, you're able to see there's a Google form there that you can submit. It goes right to our counseling office, and they'll reach back out and answer questions that you might have. And it gives you the idea of some of the frequently asked questions that we talked about tonight and some of the ones that we didn't, to help you make the best and most informed decision for your students. So thank you to all the families out there. Thank you to all the panelists, and have a good night, everybody.